Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm Rachel O'Leary, and today we're up in my living room to do an update on my fluval 5-gallon spec, as well as my Betta Sid Fishous and his tank mates, which are some blue neocaridina shrimp and some Amano shrimp. I'm feeling a bit under the weather from a procedure I had done on my knee yesterday, and I just can't get down to the fish room, so I thought today we would look in on this aquarium, do a little bit of work, and get some footage of Sid being Sid, because he's quite the character. I know a lot of you too have been curious about my knee and when I will be shipping again, so I thought as I was working on the aquarium, I would not only tell you what I'm doing, but give you a bit of an update on my knee situation. So let's get started. Now, just in case you're new here, or to refresh your memory, even if you've been around a while, this is again the fluval 5-gallon spec that I started about 2.5 years ago or so. And it is obviously planted. It utilizes Tropica substrates, no fertilizers, no CO2, and just the stock lighting that came with it. It started out with a lot of hydrocotyledon tripartia, which is like a mini pennywort, but I took that out a long time ago because it was just growing too fast. The goal for this aquarium is super low maintenance, super easy, and to just be attractive in my living room. It's the only aquarium I have upstairs. So each week I do about 40% water change on this aquarium. It gets a little bit of string algae, but nothing too terrible. And it does get some green spot algae on the glass that I just take a razor blade and scrape off. This again is an aquarium that the moss has taken over the world. It has a variety of plants, dwarf hairgrass, a bunch of different little buces, an unknown cryptocarine, subwassertang, which I also did not put in here, Anubias bonsai, and I'm going to add some narrow leaf java fern in here today, just because I just did a plant order and I have quite a lot of it, and I thought it might look nice back in this section over here where there's that weird empty spot. So we're going to go ahead and add that to the aquarium as well. Now, I do have a Betta care video, should you be interested. I'll put a link in the cards for you. This is about the minimum tank size I would recommend for a Betta. They do like live plants, so they're certainly not required. And this aquarium stays about 78 degrees Fahrenheit without a heater, as we heat our house with wood, and the wood stove is in this room. And since I work from home, it's always going and keeps things nice and toasty in here. Now, if it were to be in a different location without the consistent temperature, I would recommend a heater for bettas, as they do like things a little bit warm. So I'm just going to clean my glass here. I always start by doing that. Oops. And then I'll go in and replant this hair grass I just accidentally disrupted. Now, this aquarium, as I mentioned, is super low maintenance. This is a pot of the narrow leaf java fern from downstairs. I've shown you guys how I work with this stuff a lot in the past. You remove the rock wool as much as possible, rinse it in some tank water, as you don't want to add that to the aquarium. Since java fern is a rhizome plant, you can see the rhizome here. It's like this lateral finger-like structure that the leaves grow up from and the roots grow down from. That needs to stay out of the soil in order for it to not rot and the plant to be healthy. So I usually just wedge it in my decor rather than tying or gluing, just because I use so much of this manzanita driftwood like in this aquarium that it has all these nooks and crannies, and I don't really have to worry about giving it a permanent adherence with either thread, fishing line, or glue, because it tends to stay put. And since obviously the fish in this aquarium is not going to move plants around, we'll be in good shape. So I just removed all that stuff. And then I'm literally just going to put it back there to fill in that spot. Gone ahead and refilled the tank, mainly because the filter was making noise. Now I'm going to take my spring scissors and pincettes and just remove some of this moss. And I have to do this every week. Despite moss being relatively slow growing, for some reason in this aquarium it goes gangbusters. As always, I wipe down my glass, and that's really it for maintaining this aquarium. Now when I refill, because I have a well, I don't need to use water conditioner, but obviously if you have city water, you would need to do so. And again, I don't use any chemicals in this aquarium. Occasionally, every once in a blue moon, I'll hit it with some Tropica fertilizer if my dwarf hairgrass is looking a little yellow. But for the most part, it's a simple water change and just cleaning the glass each week. And I do make sure each week as well to wipe down the lids to remove any dust so that the plants get as much light as possible. That foreground plant that's super tiny is dwarf hairgrass, and I'll put captions throughout the video with the Latin names of all these plants. You can see as well there's a shrimp molt there. I just leave them as the shrimp will graze on them. Behind that is the mystery crypt. I really have no idea what it is. Over here we have some bucephalandras as well as some Anubias bonsai. A mini centipede bucephalandra, which is this guy right here. The narrow-leaf java fern I just added. Mini Catherine bucephalandra flowering there. Some unknown moss, more Anubias, and subwassertang, which is the one that sort of resembles seaweed that has colonized this piece of wood. And more bus and hairgrass, and you can see one of the blue neocaradinas there. They're doing really well in this aquarium. There's also a couple of Amano shrimp in here, as well as the betta. And we'll probably feed these guys so that you can get a better look. I feed Sid once a day, a very small amount, and I do not target feed the shrimp in this aquarium at all because of all the plants. Generally I feed Sid micro pellets, but I'm out, so he's getting some GVG mix by Sarah today. So what's going on with me? I went to my knee doctor yesterday, just because my pain levels have still been out of control. If you're new here, I had a total knee replacement about 10 months ago, because I've been bone on bone for most of my adult life, and it was getting to the point that I couldn't function anymore. And the hope was that this knee replacement would make me able to be higher functioning in my daily life and get rid of my pain. However, I have been in constant pain, which has meant that I haven't been able to ship fish in over a year, which is my living. That's how I make my living, is breeding and selling and importing fish. So I haven't worked for over a year. And I was trying to be patient, but I went to my orthopedist yesterday and learned that my kneecap is bad. So I have to have a new kneecap put in. I also had to have cortisone injections yesterday, and they put me on a couple new medications to try and manage the pain and the nerve misfires until I can have surgery. I have to wait until at least May to have surgery. You have to wait a year in between. So it's not looking like I'm going to be back in business anytime soon for those of you who have been asking me. Trust me when I say there's nothing I would like more to be earning my income to help support my family and also help support the hobby with really nice fish and all that stuff. But for now, we're just gonna have to stick with in-person sales by appointment when I'm able. Pretty disappointed and in a lot of pain all the time, and I just something's got to give. So I'm hopeful that by the end of the summer things will be much better. If you follow me on Instagram, I keep people pretty updated there as well. So I do apologize, my energy levels are a bit low today. It was not a good day yesterday, and especially with the profound cold we've been having, it's meant a lot of work around here to keep the house warm with the wood stove, and I am exhausted, having a difficult time sleeping, and it affects everything in life. So doing my best to maintain and take care of everything that I care about, which is my fish room and my family, and just plugging along otherwise. As always, thank you guys for your constant continued support. I do have exciting news. My play button has finally been issued to me and should be here in a week or so. If you have any ideas of what sort of special video you'd like to see to celebrate that milestone, let me know down in the comments below, and I will try and do something special for you guys.